I want to recommend to all my viewers and my listeners the True Talk Show. Watch, like and subscribe.
And like and subscribe.
So share video here. Please like the video, subscribe to the video and share the
Shout out to all viewers. My name is Richard. You need to subscribe to the True Talk Show.
Yeah, and follow Biera. My number na come as well for subscribe. Mickey the one.
Subscribe to the True Talk Show. Subscribe to Mickey channel. Now and subscribe to the True Talk Show.
Subscribe for True Talk Show.
I don't see why you go and buy the material, take it to the seamstress or maybe the tailor, and then you allow him to cut everything and leave your nakedness. Doesn't speak well.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode on the True Talk Show. My name is Prince Michael, aka Kobe Prince, Mickey for short. On this episode, we are going to talk about the parents' rights and the children's rights. What are children's rights and what are parents' rights? Our guest for this week's show happens to be one of the lawyers in the OT region. He goes by the name Lawyer Emmanuel Ariaga. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
On this episode, we want to know the rights of a parent and the rights of children. So our first question for you today is who are parents?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having me. So a parent, in the ordinary way, is a guardian to a child. A guardian in the sense that you could be either the biological father or mother. It could be an uncle, it could be any relative, or it could be somebody who is adopted by anybody. And when you are taking care or guiding the child, that is why in law we call it a guidance. And therefore, that person is regarded as a parent. Parents has the responsibility to provide the necessity of life. That is providing good health, education, training the child, and also shelter and food for the child. Wow. So that is the responsibility of the parent.
So Daddy, what are the rights and responsibilities of a parent to their children?
Very well. The rights and responsibilities goes together.
Okay.
When guiding a child. They say the most important thing is this: the necessity of life provided by the parents to the child are the responsibilities and rights of the child. For example, I'd like to put it in broad categories. Providing food. When we say you are providing food, you should provide food for the child to survive. The second part is shelter. When we talk about shelter, it's not necessarily the rooms and the where the person will sleep. By providing the uniform, sandals and other things, these are those things we call shelter. The medical care, then the education of the child is your responsibility of the parents. When we talk about education, there are two parts of it. Either it could be formal or informal education. When we talk about formal education, it means the person goes to school. It is the responsibility of you to take care of the child by paying the child's school fees, buying textbook, giving the child all the necessary things to attend school. Then informal is teaching the child a trade, but there's a limit to that. The child being so young as the age of 5 and then subjecting him to certain training is not the best. So we are talking about all these things. There's a limit to all of them. With the formal education, you can send a child as age as 3 months. So is it the creche or the one the start from that side going. But training, giving the child informal training, there's an age limit by which you can take the child to go and learn formal education, informal education, like carpentry, mason. The child must be strong, well fit to do the job before you can take the child.
So, meant for parents who fail to perform their responsibilities as a parent.
Yes. To admitted to those who refuse to give education to their children, either formal or informal. It's a the child can take you to court through the guardian. You see, the child is so young, he cannot go to court straight. But through the guardian, he can take you to court, or social welfare, or human rights can enforce all these. Courts are all around, so that fancy if the child is of age to learn a job, or and he's not attending school, or if the child is supposed to be in school and you are keeping in the house, they can take you to the human rights. The mother or the father can take you to the human rights or to the social welfare, and you will be punished for that.
3 days ago, I met a young girl selling pure water. So I called the girl too smallish to sell. I asked the girl, how old are you? She said she's 11. I said, where are you coming from? She said she's coming from a nearby village. Someone came to pick her from her parents to be brought to Nkontaye to stay with the person. So the person, by the way of the person feeding or providing shelter to her, the person is asking her to go and sell pure water. So that is this right or wrong?
If you ask somebody, a child to come and stay with you, equally you must tell the person to take the child to school. So the two must move hand in hand. We've got child labor. Child labor means the child is now of going to school age, and you are kept in the house to serve your children. You'll be punished for that. And then we've now got a lot, the child trafficking. Listen, those who are on the fishing boats, they use young guys or small children to paddle their canoes, removing nets from the when they get to it. Is a heavier punishment. The least punishment they can give you is 5 years. The case just recently with a man from Abu Tasi, and he was put in prison for 7 years.
Wow.
The child stayed with the man since 2016 to 2021, and the man came after afterthought. The man said he was sending the child to school this time when he knew that he was being arrested. So that is it. So there's heavier punishment for that. So this child coming from the village, then telling the person that yes, though the person is 11 years, they come and stay with me, and then allow the fellow either to learn a trade or to attend school, whilst he does the work for you. We are not saying during weekends you can get in the child in those minor jobs. So that is the position of the law.
Please, if you are watching this video, like and subscribe. So at what age is it appropriate for a child to live under his parent to stay alone?
So in the advanced country, when you are the age of 18, we call it majority age.
Okay.
Then you qualify to stay alone. In the sense that your parents have taken very good responsibility on you. So therefore, you can stay alone. These 18 years, some people have attained 18 years in Ghana, people are still staying with the parents because they are still schooling. Okay. Some of them have not learned any proper skills. So normally a male, you are supposed to be alone by the age of 21. But normally, we say we normally pledge it at the voting age. That's the majority age, which is 18 years. If you are 18 years, you can stay. Okay. Then, that is the male. The female they are now agitating that they want their age to stay alone is 60 years. By 60 years, you can marry. I get. So that is why the defilement, if you look at rape and defilement, it has been defined that anybody who is under 60 years, it means you have defiled the person. Whether the fellow agree that you should have sex with her is irrelevant, because the child is still a minor. Now, from 16 above, they will call it rape. It means you have seek consent, or the person's consent was not sought before you have sex with them. So in this wise, we normally pledge it the girls 60 years, because at 16 you can marry and you can stay alone. If by 16 you are not married, then we assume that by 18 you can be alone as a girl. But as a boy, no. By 18 people are still hanging around, no job. By 21 we expect you to be independent, staying alone.
You see, one thing too we notice our community where we are is that most parents don't care of their children's well-being, in the sense that when a child completed senior high school, they've termed that child to be a grown-up child. So that means they can take care of themselves. Even whether you are 12, you are 15, and you are completed secondary school, they believe you can provide shelter for yourself. So they leave you and you do whatever you like. Then is this right or wrong?
It's very wrong. In this part of the world, they say even somebody can complete university without any job. So he still needs support from the parents. They say if you don't support the child will go on hustling, and you can find your child in the wrong place. Either armed robbery, he's smoking weed, and so on and so forth. So we are saying that the child still needs support until the child secures a job. You know that he's self-sufficient, he can take care of them. That's why some of us, when we completed training college, our parents still follow us to find out whether the job is still okay or not okay with you, so that they'll know the kind of support to give you. So in this wise, we are not in advanced country when parents can be saving money for their children to live on their own. You see, unlike the advanced country, they've opened accounts for the child when the child is about 3 months old. And they'll be putting money there until the child is grown up to 18. And the child can survive by himself. Unlike we people, the money is not for them, how to even pay the school fees. It's even a problem. So you can't. So we, over here, you always get us living like grandparents even come to stay on the parents. You see, so that is the problem. So how do you leave such an innocent person to start hustling for himself? So parents to support. They should say, despite that they are 20, 21, the fellow needs to get a job and then start working.
Should parents give sex education to them? At what age?
This is very, very important, especially the girls. You know, because of medical treatment and other, children now passes their menses as early as 10 years. So when the child has his menses, they need education. At this time, when you joke, you become pregnant. This is how to keep, when you have your menses, this is how you are to keep yourself. This is what you have to do. So you have to educate the child to avoid the danger that the child is going to face. And the boys too, immediately he's grown up to the age, you see that the voice changes. He has a deeper voice. And sometimes you'll get his breast protruding. And that when you press, you'll get some water coming out of it. Then there's the need to educate the child. Now, if you joke with a girl, the girl becomes pregnant. So you need to avoid sex and other things. That is very important in order to avoid teenage pregnancy. It's especially the girls. How to maintain yourself, how to do this, and let the child know that if you go to the man, you are going to become pregnant. So normally, the child, when he's 14 years and he commits a crime, it is regarded as being a child. It's not criminal as such. That's why we got a different court for them.
Okay.
So the child who commits a crime and is below 16, he is not taken to the ordinary court. He's taken to the juvenile court and he's being punished. And when he commits a crime with elder people, they will be tried, but we call it reminiscence. The court will direct them that they should take him to the juvenile court for punishment. Even if a child is below 16, he's not to be put in cells with adult children. He's supposed to be separated and not with the adults, because he's going to learn bad things from the adults.
Please, if you're a parent watching this program, what our lawyer is saying is that it's very, very important for you to give your children sex education. Because when they grow to some extent where they need it and you don't give it to them, at that time you can't control them again. They become problems within the family. So please, if you're a parent watching this, give your children sex education.
The sex education, both parents have to educate the child. And the school system, they learn this moral education and other things. They have to teach them. So
the school is also responsible.
That is it. I was watching a program when one of the professors was saying that he went to the African schools after giving them a lecture. Nobody asked a question. And when he lectured outside, the white people, children were itching to ask questions. You see, so we should allow the children ask questions. We shouldn't be shouting on the children. When the child mentions certain words which are immorally not correct, we should correct the child. Then you should know that he's already learning those things to know. It is there that you start educating the child. What this thing means, what this thing does. And because of our accommodation system, parents and the children are all packed in single rooms. So they never see what you do there. So the child knows a lot. So there's the need for you to educate the child.
So Daddy, what is your advice to parents and children?
And that they must be responsible for their children's welfare and as far as their children's medical care and education, especially education. And the children too must listen to their parents. Some of them feel that at some age they are also grown and they can take their own way. We have got counselors all around, churches and then schools. It's of late that they said the corporal punishment, they shouldn't be reporting children to the parents because they'll issue out lashes against them and so on. But it's after talking to the child, probably the child is fed up with you. You can take him to the pastor, you talk to him, you can take to a chief imam, you talk to the child, and then you can even take the child to this. So many corrective centers are there so that the child can be talked to. We cannot use force. You cannot use force. After all, it's the cane. My father is going to cane me, and that is all. He will still go and repeat the same thing. But when you educate the child, I think it will stay well with the child, and the child will abide by you. And I also advise the schools to be going on excursions. Children seeing parents and adult people or young people who are managers of some institutions, they will be attracted and they ask questions, and that counts. Motivate them enough to avoid these bad behaviors.
Viewers, thank you for watching today's episode. And please, if you are watching for the first time, like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at The Truth Talk Show, on YouTube at The Truth Talk Show, and also on Instagram and Twitter at The Truth Talk Show. Thank you for watching. Let's meet again next week.